Good morning, gang. So I wanted to jump on today and talk a little bit about fat intake. I am super excited about the over 80 people that I have going through the Faster Way to Fat Loss program this week. We're doing prep week. And they did awesome yesterday. We did a 24-hour cleanse and it went really well. But one of the things I noticed as we go through prep week is everybody is so fearful of fat. So one of the things that we do in the program is we track all of our macros. So macros are proteins, calories, fats, and carbohydrates. And I've noticed that every time someone will upload their information, one of the things that they always comment is, oh, I got too much fat. My fat's too high. And that's basically because we've been uber brainwashed for the last 40 years to think that fat is bad for us, that fat makes us fat. And that is just not the case. So I kind of want to explain to you why fat is not the enemy and fat is not your problem. So in 1977, the government came out with these low-fat, low-calorie guidelines. And they really came out with these guidelines pretty much with very little scientific evidence to say that eating a low-fat diet was going to be healthy for us. But that's what we ran with. So once these guidelines came out, what happened is all the manufacturers started to take all the fat out of their food, and what did they add? They added carbs and sugars. So we currently eat more than 4 to 5 times the amount of carbs and sugars today that we did in 1977, and we're bigger than we ever have. Prior to 1977, our obesity rate was completely flat. From 1977 on, our obesity rate has skyrocketed. So there's a correlation between us trying to eat low fat and low calorie with us just getting bigger and bigger. So one of the things that I try to teach my clients in the 7-week program is don't fear fat. Fat is your friend. My cat wants to go outside. Hold on. So I like to put it in this perspective. If you go to the store and you buy regular ranch dressing, it has 0 grams of carbs and has 0 grams of sugar. But if you go to the store and you buy fat-free ranch, it has maybe 1 less gram of fat, but they've added 5 grams of carbs and 5 grams of sugar. So all that low-fat, fat-free crap that you've been eating, it's just making you bigger. You're eating more carbs and you're eating more sugars. So we've gotten into this thinking that if we cut fat from our diet, we're going to lose weight. But what happens is when you choose all these unhealthy, unnatural, fat-free products, you're actually incorporating more carbs and sugars, and that's what makes you store and gain fat. So basically, we now know, which we really didn't have a good understanding of the endocrine system back in the 1970s when these dietary guidelines came out, that it is the insulin and sugar response that causes us to store fat. So if we can keep our blood glucose levels down, then we prevent the spike of insulin. If we can keep our insulin levels down, then we don't store fat. And that's the goal. So the goal is to manage your carbs and sugars more than it is to manage your fat. So one of the things that I try to educate my clients during the 7-week program is the ability to incorporate healthy fats into their diet. Good quality butter. I know, heaven forbid, eat butter. Margarine will kill you. Don't eat margarine, eat butter. Coconut oil, which is super healthy for you. It's very high in MCT, medium chain triglyceride fats, which actually increases your metabolism. Avocados, nuts, things like that. Olive oil, those are really great fats to incorporate into your diet. And the thing about fats is they fill you up. And then fats take much longer to metabolize, so they keep you full longer. So it's kind of like a win-win-win. The other thing that I always work with in terms of clients is, the #1 food group that I want my clients eating is vegetables. Vegetables is the one food group that will never make you gain this weight back. So we want you to incorporate as many vegetables as possible into your diet. Well, the problem is that, in the United States, we don't eat vegetables. You know, that's probably the least food group that we eat. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't like vegetables because we don't know how to cook them. We've taken the fat out so they taste like crap. So I always say, you know, when you add the fat back, let me tell you, broccoli tastes a lot better with a little bit of butter on it, a little bit of salt. So when you stop getting the fear out of fat, your food tastes better. It has a lot more flavor and you enjoy eating it more. So I want you eating more vegetables. I want you eating more fat. These are all the things that we focus on in the 7-week program. And then the last thing I always tell my clients is, you know, think about it. Think about your great-great-grandmother, you know, who had a big bucket of really good quality lard in her kitchen, who ate eggs and bacon every morning, who had a stick of butter every day, who probably smoked and drank whiskey, weighed 105 pounds, and lived to be 105 years old. There's a lot to be said about the way that we were eating and cooking, you know, beyond 1970. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to real food, and we need to get back to quality ingredients. So I challenge you to stop fearing fat. It's the hardest thing I have to in terms of teaching my clients. So again, I'm super excited about all the clients that I have working in prep week this week. I've got another session starting on June the 19th. So if you're interested in learning how to eat a real diet, if you want to understand real healthy nutritional strategies and concepts that you can do forever, I encourage you to sign up. I'm going to put the link down below the video. And don't wait for the summer. Get started now. So if you have questions about fat or the program, message me. I'd love to talk to you. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Bye.